I'm Ed Wasserman, the Dean of the Graduate School of Journalism, and it's my very great pleasure and honor to welcome you to the commencement of the class of 2014. There's a story that back during the heyday of the British Empire, a group of Oxford undergraduates learned that Rudyard Kipling, who was the highest paid writer in the world at that time, was getting the princely sum of 2 shillings a word. So they sent him a telegram. It said, "Mr. Kipling, herewith 2 shillings, please send us back one of your very best words." So he wired back, "Thanks." So to start with, I want to say that to you people here and to you people there, thank you. Particularly the parents, I know what you've been through, and this is a moment that I hope you will view with the same pride and the same confidence and promise that we have here. My overriding message to you, and I'm going to be saying a few other things, but my overriding message to you is that this is a very special moment, and you should savor it. There really aren't that many that you get in life. Birth of a child, wedding, whatever. This is one of them. It's a very few instances that are as welcome, where you're welcomed and entitled to take such pleasure and accomplishment of such stature, and the satisfaction of having for this moment in front of you such immense promise. There's a phrase by T.E. Lawrence, one of my heroes, when he spoke of being intoxicated by the morning freshness of the world to be. We don't do that enough. Now, I'm afraid many of you may find this pleasure hard to come by, many of the students who are graduating, in part because you breathe the air of contemporary America, which continually tells you how bad off you are. You're told that your generation particularly is a victim of a uniquely cruel set of historical circumstances. No jobs, no prospects, destined to be worse off than your parents, the industry to which you're heading in tatters, the country besieged by fanatics, the world on the precipice of environmental collapse. Oh, really? You want to know about bad off? This is 2014. 100 years ago, it was 1914. If you were a Frenchman between the ages of 18 and 32, half of you would be dead within 4 years. If you were graduating from Oxford in 1913, only a third of your classmates would be killed in the next 4 years. Now, those numbers, by the way, come from a book by Adam Hawkshield, A Magnificent History of That Time. Some of you were lucky enough to have him as a teacher this year. As young journalists in the USA, you are among the luckiest, most blessed, most capable, the smartest, best prepared people who have ever embarked on their working lives. And the opportunities you have and are fully able to create are of a richness of value and a potential impact that's virtually unexceeded. But so why the leaden atmospherics of gloom? Why do most of you believe times are bad? What might be the politics behind convincing journalists of talent and determination that they're heading over a cliff? Now, I'm a child of the 60s, so I'm a professional paranoid. But this incessant drumbeat of adversity, of scant prospects, has clearly had the effect of putting the news media in a defensive crouch, blunting its collective resolve to do the work that must be done. I've never really quite understood what Franklin Roosevelt meant when he said, "What you have to fear is fear." And now I see it. And here's why this matters. There was a stunning survey recently people at Indiana University did. They've done it every 10 years. It's a survey of working journalists. Overwhelmingly, they found this year, journalists believe that they're heading in the wrong direction. And in the era of whistleblowers, where media worldwide have published extraordinary disclosures about governmental secrecy and misconduct, you'd be amazed at the attitude of working journalists toward the very techniques that made these disclosures possible. Today's journalists asked about whether they approved the occasional use of confidential business or government documents without authorization. It was less than 58% last year, down from nearly 82% in 1992. Approved of that. How about the occasional use of personal documents without permission? Support for that fell from nearly half in 1992 to less than 1/4 in 2013. The occasional use of hidden cameras or microphones, supported by 60% of journalists in 1992, but only 47% in 2013. Getting employed to gain inside information dropped from nearly 2/3 in 92 to 1/4 in 2013. So what gives? What gives is an astonishing loss of nerve. Now, not everywhere. A few months ago, the head of standards of the BBC was here speaking to students. This is the BBC, the government-owned lapdog media that we're always so warned about. He was talking about the hacking scandal in Britain, which I assume you're familiar with. Tabloid press helping themselves to information they gained by hacking into emails or voicemails. He obviously criticized the hacking, but he criticized it in a very interesting way. He said there was no reason for it. There was no news justification for it. These were celebrities and ordinary civilians. There was no public benefit to be gained from invading their privacy. He said, but make no mistake. We at the BBC, if we were pursuing illegalities serious enough and of sufficient scope, we would not hesitate. We wouldn't hesitate to hack emails or voicemails. And we'd have no compunction about taking a cooperating source under our wing and keeping him away from prosecutors and police if need be. This is the lapdog BBC. It was an extraordinary expression of vision, the confidence of that organization, faith in its own independent public purpose. Now, I'm not arguing for rampant illegal intrusion, wholesale ignoring of privacy rights. I know the lawyers in the crowd are cringing when they hear me say this. My background is ethics, and the ethics folks are in the business of trying to tell lawyers what the law ought to be. But I raise these issues to remind you about the civic purpose that you're leaving here to pursue and why it matters. It's about calling the powerful to account, betting on the emancipatory power of an enlightened citizenry, believing that truth, howsoever elusive, is worth pursuing. And not everybody is going to thank you for that. Now, this isn't a job for everyone. You want money? Fine. You've got the chops. The appetite for stupid stuff has never been more robust. Join the vanity press, and maybe you'll get to fawn over celebrities at the red carpets of the Oscars. Throw in with some nerds in the mission who have a killer app that will find the best kimchi in their zip code, score big, and move on. But I think that in a larger sense, you know that you've got a calling that you need to heed. You're the chroniclers. You're the tellers of the tales. You're the keepers of the conscience, the ones who bear witness when, as with Willy Loman, attention must be paid, you pay it. 100 years from now, God willing, when the stories that resonate and inspire are told around the campfires of the future, they'll be your stories. You have work to do. You have the skills with which to do them, so go do it. Thank you.